From the beautiful campus of Casper College, it's the T-Birds Coaches Show, bringing you game breakdowns, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews. Here's your host, Tom Myler.
Welcome, T-Bird fans, to, of course, our awesome and fantastic Coach Show. Joining me once again, we have Coach Dwight Gennari. Coach, welcome back.
It's always a pleasure. Always enjoy these moments.
It is a pleasure having you here because guess what? We get to talk about women's basketball. And we love it. Are you ready?
I am.
Well, I sure hope so because we're going to just jump right into it. We had a win against Western Wyoming, which we talked about last time. We kind of needed that one.
Yeah, that one had a lot of impact. It was very satisfying, very rewarding, and it really put us in a pretty good position. Was extremely proud of the kids to get that one. Even gave them 2 days off in a row, which doesn't happen too often. But that was on plan, regardless of the outcome. But it sure was a nicer break being able to get that win.
Yep, and kind of a side note, just I know you've been dealing with some sickness on the team, so I imagine that was part of it. Just kind of let them rest and hopefully recover.
100%, because we've been going at it really hard, 6 days a week. With even the seventh day, we would come in on Sundays and do video and walkthrough and stuff like that. So we have been going at it really hard, nonstop. And to the kids' credit, they have been dealing with the virus that's going around and still giving us their best effort. So it was a perfect opportunity in our schedule to capitalize on it. And I do think it'll, physically and mentally, a break at this time of year isn't a bad thing. So it was great.
Yeah, especially coming down this home stretch with, I believe, 4 games left now?
I think we have 4.
Because we have Gillette, Central, Northwest, so maybe just 3, or is that El Triple
No,
C
and
well?
Eastern's in there,
Eastern.
so 4,
okay,
yes, we do.
So we do have 4 left, and luckily only one of them is one of them is a road game this week, which we will get to, fans, don't worry, which that one's an important one. But let's talk a little bit more about the good and, what can be improved with this game, because we saw a lot of good things.
Yeah.
But then again, we saw some where it's like, let's fix this.
The biggest thing, again, that made our night a lot harder than it could have been is the shooting portion. We were 3 for 23 on threes, all good shots, all shots that everybody's capable of making. We're just not as consistent, from the three-point line as we would hope for, and we're striving to get better and better on that. But, to me, it's quite an accomplishment to beat a really good team when you only go 3 for 23, and that gets to the part that what went right. And preparation, defense was a high priority, and offensive rebounding. Yeah. It was tremendous. They had 16 against us the time we lost by 2 down at Western. They only had 3 all night on Thursday night. So definitely positive there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I looked at it before this. Of total rebounds, I think you had like 38, and they had 20.
Yes.
So it's like, when you're doing that, even with a lower shooting percentage, give yourself more chances, controlling that possession. I mean, you're bound to win.
It does make a difference. It's me and math. I shouldn't say simple math, but if you're 30% of 100 shots, that's going to be X amount of points. If you're 30% of only 70 shots, so if their percentage is a little bit higher, but we reduce drastically the number of attempts they get because of our rebounding and lack of turnovers, then that's how you balance out the shooting percentages.
Absolutely. So here's a question for you then, Coach. So some nights the shooting's great. Other nights, not so great.
Right.
How do you address this in practice, or is this just something, the basketball gods are going to shine on you one night or not?
More the latter, because to be honest, shooting is confidence. And the worst thing I think I can do right now is, point out that the fact that the ball didn't go in the rim. Everybody in the gym knows that. The shooter knows that. We don't need to put extra pressure. The thing we're going to stress right now and continue to stress, I should say, is it a good shot for you? Is this something that you're capable of, on a consistent basis, have a pretty good chance of making the shot? And if the answer is that to yes, we need to take it, because a lot of times you can be really, 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 really patient and selective in a possession, but what ends up is a turnover, so you have no chance to score. So, right now with our shooting, we get a lot of reps in our practice. We get a lot of reps in the individual workouts, and we try to take game shots. Every time we're doing a shooting drill, it's a game shot. So, just by reps, we keep trying to improve that. And again, the thing is kids have to take the shots that they're capable of making. No shot is a miss shot. So we'll just keep going, and I hopefully there's some consistency that comes in, and that'll make things a lot easier for us on the defensive side.
Well, let's I'd love to see it, especially against this weekend against Gillette, because that is going to be another tough one. Of course, we love the win against Western. That's your only loss in conference this year. But man, we got to do something against Gillette because they're always a tough team, and they're a place.
They are. They're a very good team. They're very skilled, very well coached, going to be well prepared. Liz does a great job there at Gillette, and this is just their second year back. She was there prior to the time away, and so glad to have them back in the conference. They make our region. We were talking off mic a little earlier that there's a lot of strong teams in the north this year, and Gillette is definitely one of those, and they will always be one of those programs, which is really good for the north sub region. So definitely have our hands full. The win we got against them here was a good advantage as far as when it comes to standings, but it really means nothing if we can't take care of business on the road.
Absolutely. So you've played them once, you beat them here. What's it like playing a team twice, knowing, hey, they're still a good team, anything could happen?
Well, yes, and that is, and I think you can see that night in, night out. What you did the first time is really irrelevant the second time because, just like we were talking, some nights the ball goes in the hoop, sometimes it doesn't. So you can do a lot of things right, but if the other team is shooting 60% from the floor, it's just one of those nights. So, there is some familiarity now that we played each other, and, that's a plus for us, but it's also a plus for them. And as you play each other more often, and we could play again in the Region 9 tournament if that happened, you become more familiar with each individual and those type of things. But it's still going to come down to who can take care of the basketball and who can make shots.
Yep, and we even talked about a little bit more the implications too of this game. And before off camera, we're talking, well, if we lose this one and then Gillette wins over Western, right now you're sitting at 2 losses apiece, and then it's a mess about who's actually in the number 1 seed.
It would really, there's a scenario where Western Wyoming, Gillette, and Casper could all have 2 losses and be in a 3-way tie for first, and then your first tiebreaker is head-to-head. Well, we would have split if Gillette beats, or if Western Wyoming beats Gillette on Thursday and then Gillette beats us. So there is a scenario where it could get a little muddy, and but there's still other games to play out, and that separation still could happen.
Right. So in other words, win, you control your own destiny. Lose, and let's see what happens.
You're right, because right now we probably do control our own destiny. Gillette has 1 loss with us, but if it was to stop today, we would have the tiebreaker because we won that one matchup. So in that sense, we do control our own destiny right now. But in a few short days, that could be out the window. So this win on Saturday, would be tremendous as far as going towards that number 1 seed.
Absolutely, and we're definitely excited that Gillette does a great job live streaming. So fans, unfortunately, it's not here. It's in Gillette. But, if you want to drive, you could have.
We would love it. And I've heard rumors that some people are going to make that trip, and hopefully weather cooperates and road conditions are good for that. But, we mentioned a lot about our fans at home. We do have a contingency that travel as much as possible, too. So, that says a lot. We probably have more fans in the opposing team stands than they bring to ours. So, again, another shout out to our great fans.
So, T-Bird fans, you're awesome. That's kind of what he's saying.
Yes, it
Thank
is.
you. We feel the love. We definitely feel it.
That is so true. That is true.
And it definitely makes the game more exciting when you have those fans cheering for you, and it really just elevates everything.
It does. It does. And we notice it as a coaching staff, but our team notices it very much so too. So, yes, we do appreciate our fans.
All right. Well, thanks, T-Bird fans. Gillette this weekend and then back home next weekend. So if you actually want to watch them live in the Swede, make sure to show up next week. But until then, we'll see you next time.